So this question is, process of separation and purification of expressed protein before marketing is called, it's called downstreaming processing. See, when we manufacture any protein after clinical testing and when we have to supply, we need to add preservatives to it, we need to purify it, pack it, and all this, adding preservatives, purification, packaging, this is categorized under one heading and this is called downstreaming process. Is it clear? So option is number 1. So next is question number 75th. Question number 75 is the temporary endocrine gland. See, endocrine gland is the mass of cells which will secrete their hormone directly into blood. Fine. So out of the following options, temporary endocrine gland in the human body. Now the options that have been given, they are all present, they are all endocrine first, but either they are not found in human body or they are not temporary. See, corpus caardiacum, elatum, they are found in cockroach. Corpus luteum, that you know after formed from the graphene follicle, it's a remnant of graphene follicle and it is temporary because it will last only for 14 days or in case pregnancy occurs it will last only for 3 to 4 months. So in any case it is temporary. So corpus luteum is the answer. So for 75 the option is 2, that is corpus luteum. And as far as the fourth option is concerned, pineal gland, that is not temporary. You are born with pineal gland, you will die with pineal gland. Alright, so it is a permanent gland found in the dorsal side of the brain. So next is 78. So this is match the following. For this you need to learn the causative agents and the diseases. So the option is 4. Gonorrhea is caused by Neisseria gonorrhoeae. Syphilis is caused by Treponema pallidum. These are all STDs. Genital warts are caused by a virus, HPV, human papilloma virus, and AIDS we all know is caused by HIV. So the option is 4. 79th is regarding copper ions or IUDs, intrauterine devices. So it's a contraceptive which releases copper. So copper ions release होके करते क्या हैं? They will suppress the sperm motility and fertilizing capacity of the sperms. So we know the fertilizing capacity of sperms is increased by uterus, which is called capacitation, right? So when it enters the uterus will produce, since there is a device present, intrauterine device, okay, which is releasing copper ions. So copper ions will disturb the sperm motility and will not let them reach up to the fallopian tubes because there is ovum waiting for the sperm because fertilization should occur in the ampullary isthmic junction. तो वो sperms कभी भी fallopian tubes तक नहीं पहुँचेंगे. Is it clear? So the function of copper ions is 4, to suppress the sperm motility and fertilizing capacity of the sperms. So next question of zoology is 80th. Which of the following is the sewage treatment removes the suspended solids? Alright. Now the sewage treatment plants where the sewage gets treated before it is released into the water bodies. So there are 2 treatments. First treatment is called a primary treatment which involves the separation of non-biodegradable matter. Right? जितना plastic, जितना भी rocks, जितने भी boulders, जो भी sewage में present है and cannot be degraded, उसको remove करना, that constitutes your primary treatment method. Is it clear? Or it is also known as physical method and it includes sedimentation or filtration. Alright? So suspended solids को remove करने का method है primary treatment. It is also known as physical treatment. And when we degrade the biodegradable biodegradable material, that constitutes your secondary method, secondary treatment or biological treatment. Is it clear? So next is 81st. An important characteristic of hemichordates share with chordates. Okay, now we know that there are organisms called non-chordates, there are hemichordates and there are chordates. Alright. So hemichordates are although categorized along with non-chordates, but we still name them hemi. Hemi का मतलब half. So obviously they have some chordate characteristics. So must know that there are 3 chordate characteristics. First is dorsal notochord. अगर notochord है तो chordate है, नहीं है तो non-chordate है. So chordates with dorsal notochord and above the notochord is present a hollow nerve cord, and the third characteristic of chordates, all the chordates, is pharyngeal gill slits. Are you getting it? So if any organism claims to be a chordate, it should show these three primary characteristics: dorsal nerve cord, dorsal notochord, and pharyngeal gill slits. Now the hemichordates show one of these chordate-like characteristics, and that is pharyngeal gill slits. So this is the question. Important characteristic that hemichordates share with chordates is pharynx with gill slits, or simply pharyngeal gill slits. So the option is 2. So next is 89th. Okay, now this is from digestive system. To answer this question, you should be well equipped with the knowledge of enzymes secreted by different parts of the alimentary canal. Alright. So for example, which of the following options best represent the enzyme composition of pancreatic juice? So the option is 3, which comprises of lipase, pancreatic lipase. It will digest the fats. Alright. Pancreatic lipase is also known as steapsin. Then amylase, pancreatic amylase would act on starch. 30% starch gets digested by salivary amylase in your mouth, and the rest of the 70% will go into the intestine and get digested by pancreatic amylase. Then is trypsinogen. Trypsinogen is another hormone. Trypsinogen and procarboxylase, both of these will act on proteins. Are you getting it? So trypsinogen and procarboxylase will be the protein digesting enzymes, amylase starch digesting, and lipase will help in digestion of lipids. So next question is 92. Alright, so this question is from the reproductive system of frogs. So they have asked you to select the correct route for the passage of sperms in male frogs. See, be it males in frogs or humans, we know the urinary and genital system get converged, right? Now in case of frogs, if you study that in detail, testes will produce sperms. From testes, the sperms would move into the vasa efferentia, then into the kidneys. Alright, and from kidneys it will enter into the Bidder's canal, and from Bidder's canal it will enter into the urinogenital and then into the cloaca. So that is how it is present. I am talking about 92. Right. So here that is how the two get connected. Alright, so testes, then vasa efferentia, then kidney, then Bidder's canal. So this is the Bidder's canal. And Bidder's canal, say this is the urinogenital duct. Is it clear? And then it will open into the cloaca. So cloaca is a common opening for anal opening, reproductive tract, and this urinary tract. Okay. So next question is, so for 92 the option is 3. So next question is 93rd. In case of couple where the male is having a very low sperm count, which technique will be suitable for fertilization? So, there are various causes of male sterility. It is not only the absence of sperms, but even if the sperms are produced in lower count, even then it would lead to the male sterility, means male infertility. So in that case, there is this method called artificial insemination. So a sperm donor will donate the sperms and they will be simply injected in the female tract. This is called artificial insemination. Is it clear? Insemination means release of sperms in the female tract. Now when you are doing it artificially, that is called artificial insemination or simply AI. It's a method for low sperm count treatment. The option is true. As far as the other options are concerned, gamete intracytoplasmic fallopian transfer, or simply known as GIFT, that is done when the female cannot produce ovum. Intracytoplasmic sperm injection, this is done when the sperm does not have the fertilizing capacity and cannot penetrate into the ovum walls. Alright, and intrauterine transfer is done when there is some issue with the fertilization. So that is done outside the female body in the test tube, and then the embryo after 32 cell stage will be implanted into the uterus, that is intrauterine transfer. So for low sperm count we have artificial insemination, that is option 2. Next question is 95th. Lungs are made up of air-filled sacs called alveoli, and they do not collapse even after forceful expiration, because no doubt how much strongly you blow out air, but some amount of air will always remain inside, and that amount of air is known as residual volume. So no doubt how much air you blow out. See, you can breathe in more amount of air, but you cannot blow out as much air that you have breathed in, and this is known as reserve volume. So next question is 97th. Which of the following statements is correct? So this is regarding the loop of Henle. So this is the loop of Henle. So this part is descending loop of Henle, and this part is called ascending loop of Henle. Now descending loop of Henle is permeable towards water, while ascending is permeable towards sodium ions. Right? So there are certain statements given. The descending limb of loop of Henle is impermeable to water. Descending is impermeable to water? No. Then ascending limb of loop of Henle is permeable to water. This is again false. It is permeable to sodium. Then descending limb of loop of Henle is permeable to electrolytes. Electrolytes means the ions. Again false. So the only true statement is number 4. That is the ascending limb of loop of Henle is impermeable to water and permeable to sodium. Next question is 102. So this is regarding your immune system. So the immune system are of two types. One is cell-mediated immunity or immune system, and another is humoral immune system. Fine. I'm not going in details. All I want to tell here is that transplantation, in case any organ transplant fails, that is due to, or graft rejection occurs, that is due to your cell-mediated immune system. Now cell-mediated immune system is formed by your T cells, alright, which get matured in your thymus. So these T cells are of 4 types: T helper, T suppressor, T memory, and then T cytotoxic or T killer. So the graft rejection particularly occurs by T cytotoxic or killer cells, and in any case the option is cell-mediated immune system. Is it clear? In second option, instead of humoral, they have already written a wrong word, hormonal. So it should be humoral. So the option for 102 is 1, that is cell-mediated immune system, CMIS. So next question is 110. So this question is from reproductive system of hormonal regulation. So we know that GnRH, it is produced by hypothalamus. Alright, so hypothalamus, this hypothalamic hormone, where would it act on? It would act on anterior pituitary, and anterior pituitary will then secrete FSH and LH, collectively known as gonadotropins, produced by hypothalamus, and this will act on anterior pituitary, adenohypophysis. So that was a simple option. So option number 1. Then 112. Hypersecretion of growth hormone. Now we know to increase the height, the hormone which is secreted by our pituitary, anterior pituitary, will also secrete a hormone called growth hormone. So during your puberty or during your growth phase, जितनी भी हमारी height बढ़ती है, that is under the influence of this growth hormone. Alright, but hypersecretion of growth hormone in adults. But once we enter into the adulthood, there is no further increase in height. Fine? There is no further increase in height, because even though growth hormone is secreted, but the epiphyseal plates present. So this is the bone. The epiphyseal plates are present here. So these are your epiphyseal plates on both the ends of the, यहाँ पे भी होगा, on both the ends of the bone. So while the bone is elongating, so what happens? These epiphyseal plates are converging. So once they get closed, after that bones will stop elongating. So even though growth hormone is secreted, the bones would not enlarge. Now the question is, hypersecretion of growth hormone in adults does not cause further increase in height because epiphyseal plates have closed after adolescence. Is it clear? But in that case, it would lead to bending of the bones and lead to gorilla-like appearance. Alright, so now you find out what that disease is known as. Here the option is 1. Next is 160. So this is malt. Malt constitutes your 50% of the lymphoid tissue. This is the secondary tissue. So option is 4. Next is 117. 117 is match the following and you have to find out the correctly matched option. See, methanobacterium. They have written it produces lactic acid. No, it produces methane. Penicillium rotatum is responsible for the production of penicillin. They have given acetic acid. Third option is Saccharomyces cerevisiae. This is responsible for production of ethanol. Alright, so this is the correct option. And the fourth option is Acetobacter aceti. They have given antibiotics. No, it produces acetic acid, that is vinegar. Next is 120. So frog's heart, when taken out of the body, continues to beat for some time. Now this is true of human heart as well. Fine. So the options are, select the best option from the following statements, which will describe why the frog's heart would keep beating even after it is taken out of the frog's body. So the first option is frog is poikilotherm. Poikilotherm is another term for cold-blooded. It has nothing to do with heartbeat. Then frog does not have any coronary circulation. A coronary circulation is circulation of blood around the heart and back to the heart. Are you getting it? Then third is heart is myogenic in nature. Myogenic means heart will produce its beat on its own by a special nodal tissue that is known as